I'm Bernice.
Sitting in this small seaside hotel room, with the sound of ocean waves crashing against the shore outside, I can still vividly recall the chaos that unfolded just a few days ago. The wedding that was supposed to be my sister's fairy tale ended up in shambles, and I was the one who pulled the strings. It all started when I received that text message from my sister, Amelia. "You don't need to come to the wedding. It's not your place." I was standing in my studio, surrounded by the wedding plans I'd painstakingly crafted for her. The flowers, the layouts, every detail was designed to make her big day perfect. I'd dedicated months of my life to this, and with just one message, she erased me. I didn't react with anger or sadness right away. Instead, I sat down, opened my contracts folder, and a slow realization dawned on me. I was the one who held the key to her so-called perfect fairy tale. But this story didn't begin with that text. It goes back much further, to my childhood. I grew up in a family that seemed picture perfect from the outside. My parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, were well respected in the community. My father was a successful lawyer, and my mother was a socialite who always made sure our house looked immaculate. The lawn was always trimmed, and the Christmas decorations were put up on time. However, inside our home, things were very different. Amelia was the star of the family. She was born with a natural charm and charisma. From a young age, she was the center of attention. She was the one who participated in every school event, won every award, and was the face of our family. I, on the other hand, was the quiet one. I was always there to support Amelia, to clean up her messes, and to make sure everything ran smoothly. My mother was obsessed with appearances. Whenever Amelia threw a tantrum, my mother would glide into the room in her designer dress and whisper, "Don't make a scene, Bernice." My father, on the other hand, was silent. He would just look up from his newspaper, sigh, and say, "You know your sister means well." I learned early on that love in our family came with conditions. I had to sacrifice my own needs for Amelia's happiness. Despite the unfair treatment, I still believed in the importance of family. That's why I built my career around creating perfect celebrations for others. I founded Bernice's Event Design, a company that specialized in planning weddings and other special events. It was my sanctuary, a place where I could have control and create the kind of harmony that I never experienced at home. When Amelia got engaged to Victor, a wealthy and well-connected businessman, my parents threw a grand dinner to announce the engagement. My mother said, "Our girls, one with the beauty, one with the brains." Everyone laughed, but I knew I was just the footnote. Still, I hoped that this time would be different. Amelia asked me to design her wedding, saying, "No one does beauty like you, Bernice." I took it as a sign of peace. For months, I worked late into the night, sketching designs, calling vendors, and building a dream wedding for her. But she barely thanked me. Every decision had to go through her, and she always made last-minute changes. I told myself it was love, but deep down, I knew it was just a habit, a lifetime of trying to earn a place in my family. The first sign of trouble came when Amelia texted me one night while I was working on her seating chart. "Hey, can you cover the florist balance?" There was no greeting, no thank you. It was just an order. I'd already paid the deposit as my gift. I stared at the screen for a long time before typing. "That's all I can do. My gift stops there." Her reply was fast. "Don't make this difficult. You know I'm under pressure." I could almost hear my mother's voice behind her words. The next morning, I found my mother sitting at the kitchen counter, sipping her coffee. I asked her if Amelia had told her about the payment. She sighed and said, "Honey, she's planning the biggest day of her life. Don't add to her stress. If you can help her, do it." A few weeks later, my father called. "We're all chipping in for Amelia and Victor's housewarming gift, a down payment on their first home. Your share is $3,000. Just transfer it to me when you can." I told him that I wasn't even invited to the wedding anymore. He paused and then sighed. "Bernice, don't turn this into drama. It's about family." That night, while scrolling through my phone, I saw a cousin's Instagram post of Amelia's bridal shower. It was at the venue I'd scouted and decorated. The caption read, The A-team celebrating our bride. My name wasn't on any tag. At that moment, something inside me snapped. I'd always thought that being silent and compliant was a sign of strength, but I realized it had only made me invisible. 10 days before the wedding, Amelia called. The band just canceled. Their singer's sick. You have to fix this. Her tone was commanding, as if I was still her employee. I took a deep breath and said, I'm not your planner anymore, Amelia. There was a long pause, and then she screamed, Are you kidding me after everything I've done for you? I just ended the call. That night, I sat at my kitchen table, surrounded by months of work. I started flipping through the contracts, and then I noticed something. Every contract was in the name of Bernice's Event Design. I was the client of record. If the final payments weren't made by the deadline, the contracts would become void. The next morning, I met my friend, Lily, at a coffee shop. Lily was a lawyer, and she'd seen me grow from a design intern to a business owner. I slid the contracts folder towards her and explained the situation. She scanned the pages quickly and said, Bernice, these are solid. You're the client. If you don't pay, every vendor can cancel, and you can even reclaim your deposits. Legally, they can't touch you. I let out a breath. If I did this, the wedding would collapse. Lily shrugged and said, Then it collapses. They've been taking advantage of you. This isn't revenge. It's setting boundaries. That night, I sat in front of my laptop and started typing an email to the venue, caterer, florist, and entertainment. I scheduled the emails to be sent at 9 a.m. The next morning, as I closed my laptop, I felt a sense of calm. For the first time in my life, I was in control. The next day, at 9 a.m., the emails were sent. By noon, the chaos began. I could imagine Amelia sitting at the nail salon, laughing too loudly for the cameras, when the first call came from the venue manager. I'm sorry, Ms. Thompson, but we received a cancellation notice from Bernice's Event Design. Your reservation has been released. She would have laughed at first, thinking it was a mistake. But as more calls came in from the caterer, florist, and entertainment, she realized the truth. When she finally called me, I let the phone ring twice before answering. Bernice, what the hell did you do? The venue just canceled, and so did the caterer. They're saying you pulled the plug. I took a slow sip of water and said evenly, I didn't pull anything. I just chose not to make the final payments. That's how contracts work. She was furious. You're insane. You've ruined my wedding. I could hear my mother shouting in the background and my father's angry voice. I said quietly, I didn't ruin your wedding. You did when you decided I wasn't worth a seat at it. She was in disbelief. Do you even realize what you've done? Guests are flying in. Victor's family is already here. I replied, and yet there was no room for me. She called me pathetic and jealous, but I felt nothing but calm. I said softly, At least I'll never beg people to love me while I'm destroying them. After that call, my phone started buzzing non-stop. My parents, the venue, and the catering company all tried to reach me. I didn't answer. By late afternoon, the voicemails were filled with rage. My father said, Bernice, you've embarrassed this family. You'll pay back every cent. My mother pleaded. How could you? She's your sister. Fix this. I deleted them all without listening. The next day, I went for a walk along the river. My phone was in my pocket, buzzing like a caged thing. I ignored it. That evening, Lily called. It's all over the wedding circuit. Amelia tried to rebook everything last minute, but the only available spot she found was a backyard in the suburbs. They're renting folding tables from a hardware store. I laughed softly. That sounds about right. Lily asked if I was okay. I looked out at the skyline and said, Better than I expected. I thought I'd feel guilty. She replied, You don't owe them guilt. You gave them grace for so long. This is just gravity. On the morning of the wedding, I woke up before sunrise. The sky was streaked with pink and gold. I brewed a cup of coffee, packed my suitcase, and headed to the airport. While going through security, my phone buzzed with a text from my father. Bernice, please. Amelia's devastated. Just come. We'll fix it. I typed no and powered off my phone. As the plane took off, I looked out the window at the city below. It was beautiful, but it was also a place filled with pain.
I didn't need to destroy my family.
All I did was step away. And without me holding everything up, the whole facade crumbled on its own. When my plane landed in Honolulu, I turned my phone back on. For a few seconds, it lit up with texts. "You have to call us. She's hysterical. This is on you." But then, there was silence. No more guilt, just the sound of the ocean wind and my own heartbeat slowing down. I checked into a small seaside hotel. I kicked off my shoes, opened the balcony door, and watched the waves. For so long, I'd built other people's perfect days. But this imperfect and quiet moment was mine. 2 days later, Lily called again. They actually went through with the wedding. It was a backyard wedding with folding chairs, a grocery store cake, and pizza boxes on the buffet table. I laughed softly. Fitting. They finally got something real. Lily asked me what I was going to do next. I looked out at the sea and said, "Build something that's mine. And this time, I won't invite anyone who only comes to take." As I walked along the beach that night, the words my grandmother once told me came back to me. Your worth isn't in what you give away. It's in what you hold on to. And for the first time, I was finally holding on to myself.